Everybody. I'm Mary Sorensen. I'm the current executive director of Cuddle Party Inc. It is October 13th, 2025, and I am here with Marcia Baczynski, who is the co-creator of Cuddle Party. And I'd love to talk with Marcia about how this all got started.
All
Yeah,
right.
Marcia, can you tell us what was going on in your head and how did this get going?
So, Cuddle Party was started in 2004 by myself and Reed Mahalko in New York City. And it started because we had some friends coming into town and we were like, oh, we'll host a massage party and we can all like do this thing, which is something Reed had been doing with his friends for a while, of having people come over and tr do massage trades. He had a lot of body worker friends.
Mhm.
And the friends were like, this is intimidating. And he's like, well, everybody knows how to cuddle. Like, why don't you just come over and we'll have a cuddle party? And he hosted the first one. I had to work. I was
Mhm.
very involved with the planning, but I had to work that night. And it was a huge hit. And people were like, well, basically what we did was we re-engineered like what was it that made people feel safe going to a massage party that or even a sexy party that they would need to have in place to do cuddling. And it was like, well, there's like with massage, there's like clear agreements about, how touch works. There's like an expectation that it's not sexual. There's an expectation that bodies being bodies is okay. There's an expectation that, you can ask for what you want. There's an expectation that you can change your mind or say no if there's something you don't want.
Mhm.
So we kind of reverse engineered what you needed for those parties, and we were like, okay, well, let's just do that with cuddling. And the first one was on February 29th, 2004. So we're a leap day baby. And
Mm.
then our friends were like, that was awesome. When are you doing it again? So we did another one, I don't know, like a week or two later. And within 6 weeks of that, we were international news because a friend of mine came and this was back when blogging was like the thing, pre-social
Thing.
media.
Yeah.
And she wrote about meeting the hottest guy she'd ever seen in her entire life at a cuddle party. And a bigger blog picked it up uh and wrote about it and was like, "Oh my gosh, this like is a wild thing." And then Gawker picked it up, and Gawker at
Mm.
the time had mass media. I think Reed remembers it as Drudge. It was not Drudge. Drudge is politics. Gawker's pop culture. But yeah, it was
Mhm.
Gawker. And yeah, and then that just like catapulted Cuddle Party because
Mhm.
everyone in media ran it, and of course we were in the media mecca of the United States, and so
Mhm.
uh very quickly we were literally international news. I think within 6 weeks we were in the uh International Times in India, and a friend of ours was
Mm.
in India, was woke
Wow.
up that morning wondering like, oh man, I wonder what they're up to. And of course back then like not everybody had cell phones with long distance, so it was just like you
Mhm.
couldn't call, you could email maybe.
Mhm.
And opened up the paper and there we were. So
Wow. Wow.
so it took off really quickly. We did not have a business plan. We did not know that we were striking a chord. We just thought this was like another little workshop, like a lot of other little workshops that we were doing, that we
Mhm.
did in our living room. And basically, from that point forward, we hosted 2 parties a week, trying to figure out what the heck we had tapped into. It was just very clear people were responding. It helped a lot
Mhm.
that both Reed and I had media backgrounds. My degree is in PR. He
Mm.
had done a lot of spokesman work and acting.
Mhm.
And so we were able to kind of tap into this like curiosity that the press had. And of course, the press immediately was like, it's a sex thing. And we were like, we're both sex educators. I assure you, if we wanted to do a sex thing, we would just do a sex thing. This is not a sex thing.
Right.
And so that has been, that was the foundation of it. And it was a wild couple of years with trying to like figure out what was it that people were responding to, and also like, is this something that we can keep going forward? And here we are
Mm.
21 years later, and we clearly have kept it going forward.
Yeah.
Um, and in 2005, we had our first facilitator training because we were like, okay, so
Yeah.
about a year after
Hmm.
running, I don't know, probably almost two parties a week. We probably averaged, I don't know, we probably did like 40, no, we probably did like 60 or 70 parties before we started running facilitation. And we were like, okay, well, we've
Mm,
got something. And the first pass at it was, hey, just take like here's some instructions. We had a couple in Ohio that was really interested. So we just like wrote down some instructions on how to do it, gave it to them, and they were like, we need more support than this. And that's why the facilitator training was born. We were like, oh, you need facilitation skills. That was something that
mm,
Reed and I both had that we didn't know were, part of the magic, the secret sauce was that we both knew how to
mm,
help hold a room. We both knew how to like lead
hmm.
people. We knew how to create containers. We knew how to set limits and boundaries and agreements for the room and rules. We weren't
Hmm.
afraid to set rules. And we weren't afraid to tell people no. And so,
Hmm.
you know, so we learned a lot that first year, and then we were able to turn it into facilitator training. And then very early on, Len Daly came on, and soon after Betty Martin came on, and the two of them were like, "These kids need help," because I was in my late 20s at the time, and I had no idea how to run an organization, and arguably still don't know how to run an organization. I'm much better as a teacher than I am as a executive director of an organization.
Very
Um,
different skills.
very
Yeah.
different skills. Yeah, I know
Hmm.
I'm very clear to stay in my lane these days. But
Hmm.
we really leaned into it, and then Betty came in and had some thoughts about the facilitator training, so we updated it in 2010 and updated the Welcome Circle in 2010 and then kept that going for a while. And after about 17 years, I was like, I really have other things that are calling to me. So
Hmm.
I stepped away. I kind of gave a heads up that I would be stepping away. I kind of dialed back my involvement for a few years and then stepped away officially in 2020, which I was planning on doing anyway, but that was,
Yeah.
of course, concurrent with the pandemic, but not because of it. And since then, I am happily just bopping around teaching the things that I want to be teaching and sort of supporting Cuddle Party from afar and cheering
Yeah.
everybody on and hoping that it all works out great and available in some capacity. But
Hmm.
largely I've got my attention on still teaching a lot of the same things that um Cuddle Party is about. I wrote a book
Hmm.
that has the principles of Cuddle Party, but it's all
Hmm.
non-touch. And yeah, that's kind of where Cuddle Party
Yeah.
came from and what I've been up to since.
That's awesome, Marcia. Yeah, and I want to say I really appreciate your support, even though you have stepped away. You've been really supportive of me and that you're available to do these kind of things, and I just really
Mm,
appreciate it.
yeah, yeah,
So thank
totally.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great overview. So it was really like the media catapulting you into like, oh my gosh, we better do something with this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think our friend, well, it started with our friends being like, "Wow, do it again," right? So that was the
Yeah.
thing because originally it was friends and friends of friends,
Hmm.
and then the media caught wind of it, and we were like, and back then Craigslist was a thing, so we would just like post ads on Craigslist and be like, "Hey, we've got this cuddle event, like if you want to come." So it's friends of friends and a little bit of
Hmm.
pre-social media advertising.